business models. For this talk, it will be a bit hard for me because I've programmed the slide to go through each 20 seconds, so I'm sure I'm not spending too much time on it. So please bear with me. I'm going to talk about GenAI, and as you know, GenAI has been changing the way artists make art now. So we have GenAI artists that are using a prompt to create some works, whether it's art, figurative art, or other types of media. In order to generate art, a GenAI model needs to have some pre-existing content that is being curated by someone or by a team of people. And so basically you have several people that are involved in generating a new content, which are the curators, the GenAI model that needs to be trained, and the artist, the prompter. But what happens if there is an issue with the generated content? What happens if the generated content is somewhat hateful, or it goes against some rules? Who is responsible in this case? And that is something that we need to take into account at some point. There is also the issue of who is incentivized when there is some content exploitation that has been made, when the content generates revenue. Who should take a part in this revenue? Is this the GenAI model? Is it the prompter? Who needs to do that? On another side, you have NFTs. NFTs are more than just ape pictures, as you know. They are more than PFPs. They can do a lot. They are based on smart contracts that can help program what we will do with the NFTs. And so, using NFTs, we can leverage the blockchain properties, because NFTs are basically data structures hosted on the blockchain. And so you can use those data structures to leverage transparency, interoperability, to leverage also the inalterability and the value transfer of it. So there is a lot to do, and one of the main things that we can do is certify content. So with an NFT, we can anchor a media on the blockchain and make sure who was responsible for generating this media. So you could mint an NFT with a GenAI content, with the prompter being the minter of the NFT. But as an NFT is a smart contract, you can do much more than that, because obviously you can see this way who is responsible for the content, but you can also do a bit more than that, because you can leverage the value transfer options of the NFTs. So using the value transfer properties of the NFTs, we can have a way to compensate an artist, the prompter, a real person, but we can also compensate a service, which is the GenAI model. We could also compensate the curator that was originally training the model. We can do a lot of things. And so what we did as an R&D project is that we used both NFTs and GenAI to create a smart contract that will mint each GenAI content, and through this we will mint the prompter into the metadata and the GenAI model. This way we can see who is responsible for creating a generated content. We can have a log which is stored on the blockchain, which is inalterable, and so we can trace basically the content using the traceability options of the blockchain. But we can do a bit more than that, because what we did is that we stored the addresses of the prompter and of the GenAI model into a multi-sig smart contract, and those addresses are used to automatically compensate both the model and the prompter when there is an exploitation of the content. But as this is a smart contract, you can have a lot more options doing that. You can also leverage the smart contract to compensate other types of people, other types of services, such as the pre-trained content. And so that's one of the ways that we want to exploit. As the GenAI knows the GenAI model knows which content was used to be trained, we can automate the compensation of the originated content for the GenAI model and go a bit further depending on the GenAI model that was used. This allows us to have a full traceability of the supply chain of the GenAI content. And so basically you have a traceability, you have compensation, and you are able to have a bigger view and a best view of the way those contents are trained. And so that's it for me. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, I will take them now. What blockchain do we mean on? Yeah, so for this R&D project, we used Polygon blockchain. But obviously, there is an issue with scalability because you potentially will need to mint a lot of content if it's a large GenAI model. So Polygon was used for this R&D project, but you could use any kind of blockchain as long as it supports NFT standards.
Any more questions?
Thank you.